Patricia Curran was a young single mother who worked long hours to provide for her 2 young daughters, Christalin and Megan. While working at a local Dunkin' Donuts in Lake Lucerne, New York, she would catch the eye of one of her regulars. After flirting back and forth for a few months, Clifford Burns would eventually ask her out and the two fell for each other. It wasn't long before the two married in 1997 and created one big happy family. Or so they thought.
I am the devil.
Clifford owned his own business and earned a good income. He had an affinity for motorcycles and loved the outdoors. And although his life looked ideal then, growing up, it was a different story. Clifford grew up in a very dysfunctional home. In 1981, Clifford's father shot his mother in the chest over an argument. Miraculously, she survived, but he would continue to threaten her after that, which I'm sure were threats that she took seriously, considering that he had already shot her once before. In 1984, Clifford's mother filed for divorce, and his father was ordered to sign the papers. But instead, he kidnapped his wife, which led into a police chase that ended in a shootout, where Clifford's father shot at a police officer and then turned the gun on himself. I'm sure this traumatized Clifford and affected him deeply growing up. Sometimes when a person goes through an experience so horrific, they do everything in their power to separate themselves from that experience. They vow to live in a manner that exudes love and respect, to create a life for themselves and their family that is incomparable to the life that they once had. And then there are those dirtbags who mimic the former dirtbag and take it as a challenge to be worse. And this was Clifford. After Clifford and Patricia married, Clifford showed his not-so-loving side. Patricia probably went into this marriage thinking that she found a man who had his life put together. He was a grown man who had a career and a home, and she and her children would have stability and a caring husband and father figure. She had no idea what she was getting into. Clifford would continually abuse Patricia, mentally and physically. He had no problem laying hands on her, and he didn't hide it. Clifford would go through one of his fits and Patricia would leave, but he knew that all he had to do was apologize and make empty promises and that Patricia would let him back into her life. He made her think that she needed him to survive, and Patricia longed to have a healthy, successful relationship. He knew this and he used it to keep her coming back. Along with Patricia's 2 daughters from her previous relationship, Patricia and Clifford had 2 additional daughters, Harley and Autumn, making them a family of 6. Having children with someone also makes it much more difficult to leave. 1, because of the legal aspects of it, and 2, because you want your children to have 2 loving parents and you want to create the facade that everything is okay. So this toxic relationship continued for 13 years. Until the day after Christmas of 2010. Like most families who are completely worn out after the holidays, they were taking it easy, lounging around the house, taking naps, watching movies, your typical day after Christmas behavior. Unfortunately, the night before, Patricia and her daughter Christalin were having stomach issues, and although they were starting to feel better, Christalin decided to head to bed early. Occasionally, Christalin would let her younger sister Harley sleep in her bed, and this was one of those nights. Harley had noticed throughout the night that Christalin was breathing heavily and went upstairs to get her a glass of water. After this, she decided to sleep in her own bed to make things more comfortable for each of them. Then early the next morning, Patricia headed into work and everyone went about their normal business. Christalin still hadn't come up for the day, so Clifford went downstairs to check on her. As he walked into her bedroom, he saw that she was lying on her bed with her eyes open, not breathing. He immediately called an ambulance and they arrived just minutes after. And even though they got there quickly and did their best, they weren't able to resuscitate her, and Christalin passed away. Both the autopsy and toxicology reports came back inconclusive, saying that there was nothing out of the ordinary in her system. Although it made no sense, she had passed from unknown natural causes. The death of a child is heart-wrenching. It's one of those things that you can't even imagine, that you don't want to imagine. and then to have no answers behind it could cause such an overwhelming amount of anguish and pain. And for Patricia, Christalin's passing caused her to realize that her life and the lives of her children were too important and too precious to spend it with someone who didn't value them. Even after her daughter's death, the abuse continued. She had had enough, and she didn't want to waste another moment because she knew that in an instant it could be gone. She filed a restraining order and moved into an apartment with her children above a hardware store. One daughter, Harley, didn't want to change schools and chose to stay behind with her father, but she would soon come to regret it, because the anger and the hate that he would usually take out on Patricia was now being taken out on Harley. Thankfully, after a few months, Harley moved out to live with her mother and sisters. Once Patricia was freed from this life that she was living for so long, she started to thrive. She went back into nursing and got a job where she started making enough money to provide for her family, and now she had no reasons to ever go back to Clifford. After some time, Patricia fell in love with a man named Ted Backus, and things seemed to be going well. Seemed to be. Unfortunately, when upset, Ted would also resort to violence, and his punching bag was Patricia. One of their arguments got so bad that it resulted in Ted pulling out a gun and firing it into the ceiling. This caused the police to be called and arrest Ted. He would plead guilty to firing a weapon and received an order keeping him from seeing Patricia for 3 years. Patricia just couldn't seem to catch a break. Going through one heartbreak after another, I'm sure, is draining. Patricia decided not to introduce anyone else into her and her daughter's lives for a while. She was still finalizing her divorce from Clifford and chose to put all her attention into her family and career. And this seemed to work for her. A few years went by and it was now Christmas time again, 2013. Christmas is generally a time to be around family, which for some is hectic or loving or even both. And considering that such a tragedy had happened to this family at Christmas just a few years before, Christmas had become a confusing time. Harley and Autumn had become estranged from their father after not talking to him for several months, and in the Christmas spirit, Autumn decided to wish him a Merry Christmas. She sent him a text that said, "I just wanted to tell you that I love you, and Merry Christmas." Out of the kindness of her heart, she just didn't want her father to feel alone during the holidays. Despite what he had put them all through, to her he was still her father. She gets a reply that says, "I have a special gift coming soon. Something for everyone to talk about, and it will be hand-delivered on foot, not car. A very special gift for all of your friends to see, especially Harley." It's a bit of a cryptic text. Although the words aren't necessarily bad, its lack of details and considering the person who sent it, it could come across a bit threatening. So Autumn shows the text to her mom, unsure of how to respond. Patricia assures Autumn that it's nothing to worry about. He's probably a bit emotional, as most people are at this time of year, and he's just not controlling his emotions well. Autumn accepted her mom's explanation, and they continued to enjoy the last few days before Christmas. It was now Christmas Eve, and they were getting everything ready for Christmas Day. Harley was at the grocery store getting last-minute items, and Autumn and Megan were helping Patricia with dinner when there was a sudden knock at the door. Before anyone had the chance to react, the door burst open, and a man wearing camouflage and a ski mask lunges towards Patricia with a hunting knife. The man pushes her against the wall and repeatedly stabs her with a large knife. Megan instinctively runs towards her mother and the man attacking her. Even though he's twice her size, she does her best to try and free her mother from him. While she's scratching and striking him, she ends up pulling his mask off, revealing Clifford as the attacker. Patricia begs Clifford to stop as Megan continues to try to pull him off of her, but Clifford is fully focused and doesn't let Megan get in his way. He turns to Megan with the knife and ends up slicing her arm open and then turning back to Patricia. Autumn, in complete panic, is on the phone with the police. Megan, realizing that she is no match for Clifford by herself, runs out to find help, only to have Clifford then start chasing after her.
911, where's your emergency?
My mother's bleeding out on the floor. My dad just came in and they stabbed her. And she's dying. And she's bleeding out. She's dying. Megan, are you falling out? My sister's bleeding too. wanted to.
You stabbed her?
I can't. She's dying. It's my mother. Please help. Oh my God, my mom's dying. Her school supply on the floor. My sister's gonna die. You need to get people here.
Is
Mom,
she breathing?
stay with us. You're stronger. You can do this, Mom. I know you can. She's dying. She's on her way. Help, please. Help.
Ma'am, I know I'm trying to get people there.
You don't understand. She's the last thing I have.
While running out in the snow, Megan ends up getting stuck in a snowbank, screaming for her life as Clifford was catching up to her. Luckily, patrons walking out of a restaurant hear her and start walking in her direction. Clifford notices and decides instead to jump into his car and drive away. While a group of police officers rush to Patricia's home, another group sets out to find Clifford. After locating his car, a full police chase ensues, where after 30 minutes, Clifford realizes that he isn't going to be able to get away. He pulls into the sheriff's office and surrenders to the police. Clifford says that this is a gift to the police because he could have easily gone into the woods and started war with the police officers. Patricia is then taken to the hospital and treated by the doctors, fighting for her life, at the same time that Clifford is arrested and taken into an interrogation room, where either Clifford knows that this time he's gone too far and there's no point in strategizing and remaining silent. He's gonna say what he wants to say no matter how guilty it makes him look. Or he's so delusional that he actually thinks that he can explain his way out of it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. My ex-wife put a court order against me. Teddy Backus went over in the house and shot the house up with a gun and got all misdemeanors because you are corrupt in Warren County, and you know you are. It was an apartment complex with kids in it. An unregistered illegal handgun, and he gets all misdemeanors. That's what I want to do to her face. Right up with a knife. She took my kids away from me, everything I have today. I get a call from my lawyer saying they're coming with a warrant for my arrest for missing 2 child support payments. I stayed away. I haven't seen my kids in 8 months. It's Christmas. I am a devil.
Where's your kids now?
They're home. I don't know where they are. I haven't seen them in 8 months. When this broad can do this on Christmas, me and like this, it was my last straw. I'd rather live in prison. You bring my children up now. Do a good job for it. I don't give a they're out of her care now. I snapped. I don't even know what I'm doing. You guys, you deal with weapons every day. I had AK-47s, AR-15s at my disposal. I could have made this a war. You want to know what my mindset was? Take her out, spray paint the building, let's play Backus, boys, and take them in the mountains. You would have had to drop a platoon in for me. A platoon, brothers. I kept the war. I came here and did the right thing. I turned myself in. I'll go to prison. I'm done. I don't talk to anybody. I have no friends. I lost my whole life over this. My kids, everything is gone. I don't even know what to tell you no more.
What happened up there?
I don't know what happened. I blacked out.
Do you know what when you got there, or who was there when you got there?
I couldn't tell you nothing. I want to see my old lady until I want to see my kids.
Did she meet you at the door?
Listen, I want to go to a jail cell. I don't want to sit here no more.
Alright. When you got up there,
You want some shit?
you can just set it on the table, please.
These are my business cards.
Just
You ask me another question about when I got there, I'm going to spit on you.
please.
Alright? Don't ask me again. I don't know what I blocked out. Why don't you go ask her what happened? I'm calling my house all weekend with 2 court orders, rubbing me out like a cigarette butt. You get what I'm saying? When a woman snaps you, she did it all. I did not and stayed away for 2 years. I don't come around.
The rage and hate within Clifford is front and center in this interrogation, and it's spilling out onto everyone. It's the cop's fault. It's Patricia's fault. It's Patricia's ex, Ted's fault. His kids hate him. His lawyers are no help. Somehow, everything bad that's happened in Clifford's life was someone else's fault, especially Patricia's. For some reason, he keeps bringing up the time that Ted Backus shot his gun in Patricia's home, trying to deflect from what he had just done. He complains that Ted only got a misdemeanor for what he did, and it's difficult to tell whether he's genuinely mad that Ted didn't get more or whether he's trying to lessen his own crime in comparison. He continually compares Ted firing a gun into the ceiling to the crime that he had just committed of repeatedly stabbing his ex-wife and stepdaughter in front of his own child. As if to say, hey, you only give Ted a misdemeanor. Was what I did really that much worse?
Taking my kids and put me in jail, and I did nothing but pay it, you guys. And this guy shoots the house up with a loaded handgun, gets all misdemeanors. It was an apartment complex. It was an unregistered handgun. Every bullet in the chamber of the gun was a felony. Going in the apartment complex was a felony and dislodging the handgun. He got 9 misdemeanors because of his brother. Beat my old lady up, put her in the hospital. My kid was home. Get him in here and put me in the room with both my out of him. He ran like a coward and a snake, and his brothers are 2 pieces.
Okay. I have no idea what you're really referring to.
You know what I'm referring to, 69 Route N.
Okay.
December of last year when he went in with
right now. So
I'm filling you in.
I wasn't there that night, so I don't know.
He's weren't there. Nobody did nothing to him. Nobody did nothing. But me, 2 court orders against me and haven't seen my kids since last year. He disappeared from the town because I've been going up there the last few days. I was going to got him. Teddy Backus. You can tell him I said it. Don't ever let me out of jail again. Because I'll kill him. I love my children. Did you do this to Teddy Backus?
It's the holidays.
What'd you do to Teddy Backus? Powder his balls and send him home without even a bail? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Clifford claims that a phone call from his attorney about child support is what made him snap. To him, the audacity and the disrespect to call him on Christmas Eve somehow validates his actions.
Did Tina call you today?
I called her up, and my lawyer called me, and he said I had a warrant going out for my arrest. They wanted to know my address. They were coming on Christmas Eve for 2 child support payments.
Oh, and shocker, he was also a repulsive racist.
I can see you're very passionate.
You want to see? There it is, white power. That's what I believe in. The Irish. Listen, all the cops are Irish and the judge and the attorneys. You got 2 different types of Irish, the blind drunk and the straight. We're straight, we go to work every day. These poor over here, the fat, she gets her check every week and plays tag with somebody's life. What am I up? I'm Irish just like you. I go out, I hire the best Irish lawyer. The judge teaches law school at Siena, and his kid just passed the bar 21. His brother's the DA of Schenectady. Every time I go in there, you got money for me. I don't even got a high school diploma. I gave you $13,000. What do you want from me? I gotta go down and collect welfare? I'd never get it. If you're driving a Mercedes, you can pull up and get welfare. When you're a white guy, you can walk in with holes, you ain't getting nothing.
There's a lot more, but no one wants to hear all that. Not even these detectives. And Clifford slowly but eventually starts to realize that his attempts to bond with them over hatred for other people is not working. So he goes another route.
God, strike me dead. Strike me dead. You put the devil on my shoulder and you put him on the God, strike me dead. I don't even give a... Kill me! Put a bullet in me right now. Put a bullet in me. Blow my head off right now. Take the 9 out and put one in me. Just end it. I should have pretended I had a gun out there. I thought about it all the way. I don't want to live no more. You took everything from me, you cowardly little... It started last year with a back express. I just lost my mind. I lost my mind. I don't even know what to do. I have babies too now. My children. Oh my God, my little girls. What the f*** I've done? I don't even know what. I snapped today, man. I didn't even know lawyers or anybody were working on Christmas Eve. This lawyer of mine too. This money is charging me $250 an hour. 3 years into it. I'm at 20,000. I'm in such a... I can never even start my life over. Please, God, take me tonight. Give me a heart attack, anything. Please take me off this planet.
He's reaching out for any bit of empathy or sympathy that anyone will give him, which is none, as you can tell from the reactions of the officers in the room. He starts a woe is me sort of rant. Life is against him. He's just trying to live his life and the universe is spitting on him. The scary part is that there's a chance that he actually believes this. Although I think there's a higher chance that he's just an evil man who knows very well that he's an evil man, who's just used to bullying his way into getting what he wants. It's clearly not working this time and he senses it. He eventually just loses it.
I go to the police station about the nothing! Nothing! Anybody's gonna ask me two questions? You punk! I hate you! With a passion, I should have did my real mission.
Sit down. Come on.
I got you tonight.
We appreciate it. I already
Do
told you
you
that.
appreciate you think you're gonna run with me through the mountains? You would have to drop a platoon in for me.
And did you drive up here, sir, from your house?
So, how the you think I got here? Flew or walked? My car's right out in the
All right,
fucking
then.
park. Are you stupid?
No, I'm not stupid, sir. I'm just trying to find out. I just got...
Find out this. You're corrupt. This is the Wild West. What's my charge?
I don't know yet, sir.
You don't know yet?
No. I'm just trying to find out what happened tonight, sir. So you said you drove up here?
I want to see my babies. I haven't seen my children in years. You guys started this war. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? You started the war. That coward just ran out of here because he knows what you did. You rigged another man's charges because his brothers are sheriffs. Go yourself.
Who was at the house tonight when you got
I don't know you.
Give me that.
Get out! Give me the charge or bring me to prison, alright?
Checking that, okay? Please sit down. I'm going to check on it for you, okay? Just trying to find out what happened tonight. That's all I'm asking of you right now.
What do you think, I'm stupid? I'm signing nothing. Give me my charge, whatever you want to give me.
I told you.
You ask me again, I'm rip your head off. Get out. You keep asking me, what do you want me to tell you? I just told you I snapped. Why don't you go ask her what happened? I'm calling my house all weekend.
Clifford, Patricia's dead. Okay?
What?
She's dead. Okay.
Sadly, although paramedics and doctors did everything that they could for Patricia, the amount of blood loss was too much, and she passed away hours later on Christmas Eve, 2013. Patricia's daughters, Megan, Harley, and Autumn, will be forever affected by the actions taken place this day. Our hope is that, unlike Clifford, they will heal from the tragedies of their youth and use it as a catalyst to live caring, charitable, loving lives like their mother, and not use it as an excuse like their father. Clifford was charged with 1 count of second-degree murder. In April of the following year, Clifford pled guilty but retracted his plea, stating that there was poor handling of his case when he was in a state of emotional instability. He also claimed psychiatric defense, stating that he never went there with the intent to kill Patricia. He just wanted to see his daughters. But the hunting knife and ski mask that he took with him and a will that he wrote out and left in his home show otherwise. In September of 2014, Clifford was found guilty of second-degree murder and given 23 years to life in prison. He is also permanently banned from ever contacting any of his daughters for the rest of his life. Patricia so badly just wanted a loving family, and unfortunately she fell into not 1 but 2 violent and horrific relationships and an unimaginable tragic loss of a child. Even after all this, she had managed to stay strong and push forward, if not for herself but for her children. This shows the different paths that a person can take when life gets difficult. Patricia was a good person and a loving mother, whose life was taken too soon. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to show your support, and we'll see you in the next one.